I found it buried inside a Japanese torrent pack filled with old fighting game ROMs. The file stood out because it was simply named Royal Blood Zip. No publisher, no studio, no version number, just that name. Inside was one file, Dragon Ball Z Royal Blood Beta SFC. When I launched it, the menu was almost blank. Only Vegeta appeared on screen, but he looked pale, hollow-eyed, almost lifeless. There was no background music, just a low static hum vibrating faintly in my headphones. In the corner, flickering in glitchy red text, were the words, "Face yourself." When I pressed start, there were no character choices. The game immediately cut to a pixelated cutscene. Vegeta was kneeling in what looked like the battlefield during the Buu saga, but the sky was grey, completely grey, with no clouds, no sun. Just static in the sky. His armor was cracked. His cape was missing. Blood stained the ground. But the most disturbing part wasn't his injuries. It was his expression. He was afraid. Then came a series of glitchy flashes, too fast to fully process at first. Bulma crying, Trunks screaming, Goku turning away, Frieza grinning. And then, darkness. A single frame remained, Vegeta staring directly into the screen. His eyes were blood red. The game loaded into the first stage. Stage 1, Planet Alia. If you had stayed. The opponent was a younger version of Vegeta, identical to his appearance during his first arrival on Earth. His stance was calm, confident, predatory, but he didn't attack right away. He just walked forward, slowly, staring at me. I tried to punch, but he dodged effortlessly. I fired a Kai blast. He deflected it without even flinching. Suddenly, the screen glitched, black for half a second. When it returned, my health bar was gone. Vegeta, my version, was kneeling, again, bleeding. The young Vegeta walked up, grabbed him by the neck and whispered, "You were stronger before you cared." Then, a heartbeat, a real one, bass heavy, deep. It repeated slowly, echoing through my headphones. The camera zoomed in as my Vegeta began to suffocate. His eyes started fading to black. Before he lost consciousness, he whispered, "This isn't real." Black screen. I waited, expecting a game over, but instead, a new menu appeared. Simple, silent. Next vision unlocked. I pressed the only button available. Continue. The next stage title appeared. Stage 2, Home. Before the stage began, a still image loaded. Bulma and Trunks were sitting at a dinner table, pixelated, unmoving. Their faces, wrong. Their eyes were solid black, like voids. Behind them, a shadow stood. It had Vegeta's silhouette, but its hands were dripping red. The image stayed frozen for 2 minutes and 14 seconds. No music, no movement, just watching me. There was nothing to press, nothing to skip. Then the screen slowly faded to black, and Vegeta's voice returned, whispering as if it came from behind me. "This is the price of pride." The tape ended. Or so I thought, but I was wrong. When the second vision began, there was no stage select, no music, only the word "home" slowly fading in, letter by letter, with the same low pulsing heartbeat in the background, louder now. The screen faded in from black. Vegeta stood at the Capsule Corporation door, but the sky above was darker than before. Not grey this time, but reddish black, like a dying storm. The windows of the house were all shattered. The front door was cracked open, swaying slightly, creaking with the wind. There was no HUD, no health bar, no timer. It was just Vegeta, alone. I pressed forward on the D-pad. Vegeta walked slowly. Each footstep echoed unnaturally, like someone stomping in an empty cathedral. He entered the house. Inside, the walls were smeared with something that looked like oil or blood. It pulsed slightly, as if alive. Lights flickered. Furniture was overturned. The air seemed heavy, even in pixel form. You could feel it. In the living room, a broken photo frame lay on the floor. I pressed a button. He picked it up. The game displayed a close-up of the photo. Bulma, Trunks, and Vegeta smiling, but the pixels glitched, their faces warped. Trunks' eyes turned completely black, and Bulma's smile extended too far, beyond what a human face could physically allow. Then the image cracked and disintegrated on screen. Suddenly, a voice. Not Goku, not Frieza. It was Vegeta's own voice, distorted, like coming from an old VHS. You wanted peace, but peace is where Saiyans rot. He dropped the frame. The screen glitched again. Now he was in the kitchen. On the table were 2 plates of untouched food, rotting. Flies buzzed audibly. The chairs were pushed back like someone had left in a hurry or been taken. Another button prompt appeared. I pressed it. Vegeta looked at the chair and said, almost whispering, I never told him. I was proud. Suddenly, a sound from upstairs. Thump, thump, thump. I moved Vegeta toward the staircase. With every step, the heartbeat sound returned, synchronized with the thumps above. As he reached the top, the hallway grew longer, unnaturally long. Doors lined the walls, but all were locked, except the last one. Light leaked from beneath it, flickering and red. When I entered, the game glitched heavily. The screen cracked with digital static, then stabilized. Trunks was standing in the middle of the room, facing the wall. His sprite was still, but twitching slightly, like he was broken. I moved closer. Vegeta reached out his hand. Then Trunks turned. His face was gone, completely blank. Just skin where the eyes, mouth, and nose should have been. And from behind him, a voice that did not belong to Trunks. You let him die. Again. Suddenly the lights went out. Screaming, high-pitched, mechanical, like from a corrupted audio file. The screen glitched and flashed images. Bardock burning alive, Kid Vegeta, standing in blood, Goku dying again and again. Bulma's lifeless body in a chair. Then everything went black. One final message appeared, centered in white letters. You can't escape your blood. And then, again, just like before. Next vision, unlocked. The screen remained black for nearly 30 seconds after the last message. No sound, no flicker, just void. Then, without warning, the words slowly faded in. Stage 3, the throne room. There was no familiar music, just a low, gurgling hum, almost like something underwater, breathing. When the screen loaded, Vegeta was no longer in Capsule, Corp. He was standing in a massive cold hall, dimly lit by flickering torches. Ornate Saiyan statues lined the walls. Broken, cracked, bleeding black. The floor was littered with bones, not stylized or cartoonish. They were hyper-realistic, out of place in this SNES-style world. Their texture had a strange quality, as if someone had scanned real images and pixelated them imperfectly. In the distance was a throne, massive, black. Vegeta began walking toward it. As he approached, voices started echoing in reverse, first faint, then louder. Familiar voices, but distorted beyond recognition. I heard Frieza, Goku, even Nappa, all of them speaking, but not in words. Just tones, guilt, mockery, rage. When Vegeta reached the throne, a sprite faded into view, seated there. It was King Vegeta, but not how we remember him. His armor was rusted, his face aged and rotting. His eyes were missing. 2 hollow sockets stared forward. His mouth moved slowly, but no words came out. Only one thing repeated from his body, in corrupted text at the bottom of the screen. "You let them break us! You let them break us! You let them—" Suddenly, the throne room shook violently, as if the game itself was glitching under emotional strain. Then, out of nowhere, the walls cracked open. Dark red light poured in, and dozens of cyan corpses began falling from the ceiling, suspended by invisible strings. They hung lifeless in the air, twitching, heads tilted toward Vegeta. Then came one final body. It was Raditz, mutilated, chest torn open, but still breathing. Barely. In slow, pained text, a message appeared under him. "We were never strong enough. Brother." Vegeta dropped to his knees. The sprite didn't react to any input. He just knelt there, shaking. Then King Vegeta's body stood from the throne. Slowly, unnaturally. He walked toward his son, step by step, until he stood directly above him. Then, in a cutscene, the old king grabbed Vegeta's head and forced him to look up. Flash of light. And now, Vegeta was back on Planet Vegeta, but something was wrong. Everything was frozen in time. The sky was dark red, and the city lay in ruins, even though the destruction hadn't happened yet. In the middle of the city square, Vegeta saw himself, a child, crying. Alone, small, wearing tattered armor. The screen pulsed violently as adult Vegeta walked toward the boy. Every step made the screen darker. The background began to peel away like old film burning. When he reached the child, a dialogue box appeared. "You killed me when you chose him." Suddenly, the child Vegeta exploded into a cloud of ash. The ashes swirled into the sky and formed 3 words: "You are nothing," and then silence. No menu appeared, no prompt. Just Vegeta, standing in a field of black ash. The screen began to warp, distort, until one final phrase appeared, this time in red, next vision unlocked, then black. No title screen this time. The file didn't even load like the previous stages. Instead, my screen went black, and for nearly a full minute, it stayed that way. Then, faint breathing, slow, uneven. The image flickered back. Vegeta stood alone, in a black void. No shadows, no floor, no sky, just nothing. The breathing grew louder, but it wasn't his. It sounded human, weak, scared. As if someone else was watching me through the screen. A faint white light appeared in front of Vegeta. A mirror. Not stylized, not pixelated. A real mirror, photorealistic, like someone had edited in an actual image. As I pressed forward, Vegeta approached it. Slowly, he stopped just inches away. The reflection didn't move. It didn't match his sprite. It was Vegeta, yes, but different. More detailed, realistic. Human eyes, pale skin, no pupils. Just endless black staring through the screen. I tried to back away. The game wouldn't let me. Suddenly, the reflection spoke. Its mouth moved, but no sound came from the game. The words appeared in blood-red text at the bottom. "I know what you're hiding," then static. The mirror cracked, but not fully. Just a long fracture running down the center. And then came the flashbacks. Not in order, not clean. Flashes of pain, loss, regret. Vegeta killing Nappa. Vegeta watching Goku become Super Saiyan. Vegeta sacrificing himself against Majin Buu. Vegeta holding Trunks' broken body during the Cell games. Each memory glitched, reloaded, and looped, like the game was forcing him to relive it again and again, until the mirror spoke once more. You weren't angry at them. You were angry at yourself. The screen pulsed. Suddenly, the mirror shattered completely. Sharp shards floated in the void, each reflecting a different version of Vegeta. One with Goku's face. One crying as Frieza laughs behind him. One holding a gun. One with no eyes, blood pouring from his sockets. One hanging from a ceiling, swinging. None of them were playable. I couldn't move. Vegeta simply fell to his knees. Then, the screen flickered again, faster than ever. So fast it hurt to look. One final image appeared. A funeral. The casket was open. Inside was Vegeta Bulma stood by the grave. Trunks too. But their faces were empty. Just smooth skin where expressions should be. No eyes, no mouths, nothing. The gravestone read, "He died fighting himself." Silence. Then, slowly, a prompt appeared. Next vision unlocked. But below it, something new. "Are you sure?" I pressed. Yes. The screen didn't change. The text faded in again. "Are you really sure?" Pressed again. Silence. Then, "You can't unsee what comes next." The screen went black. The screen remained black for nearly 2 full minutes. No music, no sound, just that eerie stillness again, as if the game itself wasn't loading, but thinking. Then, Final Vision, Oblivion, flickered in, then slowly burned away like paper. The screen faded in on a place I couldn't recognize. A vast wasteland. No color, no sky, no ground, just white. Empty, infinite white. Like the hyperbolic time chamber, but colder. Wrong. Vegeta was there. Alone. No HUD, no controls. The game didn't respond. I couldn't move him. Then, he looked up and I realized it wasn't me controlling him anymore. He was moving on his own. His eyes were dull, empty. The sprite more detailed than ever before. Aging lines, scarring, dark circles. He looked done. As he walked, pieces of broken moments drifted through the air like ash. I saw a memory of him standing over a defeated Goku, only for it to rewind and show Goku getting back up. A memory of Bulma calling for him in the distance, but her voice echoing into nothing. A child's drawing of the Capsule Corp family, then crumpled and thrown into fire. The environment around him began to decay. The white turned grey, then red, then cracked open. Vegeta fell through the floor. He dropped into a massive abyss, spinning endlessly. The screen blurred and warped until it finally slammed into the next scene. Now he was standing before a figure, back turned, tall, thin, surrounded by darkness. The figure spoke, in a voice I can only describe as wrong, glitching, overlapping, deep and childlike at the same time. "You've walked through every lie you built. There's nothing left to protect. Do you understand now?" Vegeta didn't respond. Then the figure turned. It was Vegeta, again, but older, gaunt, pale, empty eyes and no armor. Just a torn training suit and scars covering his chest. The Final Vision had no action, no fight, no explosion. It was just a dialogue box. "Do you want to wake up?" I had 2 choices. Yes, no, I selected. Yes. Nothing happened. The option faded. Then, the other Vegeta walked forward, placed his hand on the main Vegeta's shoulder and said, "You already died." And the screen exploded in static. Final imagery flashed violently. Vegeta screaming into the void, a capsule door shutting, an infant Trunks crying, the earth exploding. Then, black. No credits, no main menu, just one final message in dead. Grey text, "There is no glory in being second. Thank you for playing." And then the game closed itself. For real, I never touched the file again. But sometimes, when I leave my PC idle, I swear I hear that voice again.